Do you remember when the Chargers punted the ball? Neither do fucking I. Neither do fucking I.
Here I am, it's the on-campus kingpin, yes
Eagle Sessions, Gayle, Saunders, SkinnyPost.com. Talking Eagles versus the Chargers, and the Eagles lose 33-30 at the hands of Nick Novak in the last-minute field goal against our beloved Eagles. Now, when you lose like this, you look back at the rest of the game, you look at all the little things that built up to this moment, and you think about where could we have done a better job in attempt to win this game. When you look at the stats, Michael Vick had a huge game, 428 yards, 2 touchdowns, I believe it's 24 for 37. Pretty good job there. LaShawn McCoy, 53 yards on the day, not the 187 yards he had the previous game. So obviously you saw where the Chargers focused their attention on defense. But then you look at Deshaun Jackson, who also had a huge game. 9 catches, 193 yards, 1 touchdown. They put the gamble on Deshaun Jackson beating them, and they almost came up huge with Deshaun Jackson and Mike Vick teaming up together. I mean, 193 yards is a ton of yards. They actually missed on 2 big plays, one where Deshaun Jackson was out of bounds, and then one play Vick had Freeney in his face and overthrew him by a hair. It touched his hands, but you know, they put up 30 points. When you look back at the missed field goal by Henry, that sucked because it was a nice little drive before the end of the half. Getting into the game, in the first couple series for the Eagles, they had 0 rhythm. It seemed like the rhythm was kind of off. I believe their second drive, they had that opportunity to score and ended up coming up with a field goal. You know, James Casey was just talking about how disappointed he was about not getting any playing time in the last game. He gets the opportunity to score a touchdown. The ball was a little low, but in his hands, and he didn't secure the catch, which was, you know, it's rough. I mean, you're driving down the field and you're expecting to score and you come up with field goals. I mean, the Eagles defense, you know, if Malcolm Floyd did not get hurt in this game, I mean, he ended up with 5 catches, 120 yards. And he got knocked out around halftime. You know, Antonio Gates, who's like 56 years old, had like 8 catches for, 124 yards. He schooled Kendricks the whole day, schooled Nate Allen. He schooled a lot of these defenders on the Eagles defense, and definitely showed you why he's a pro, all-pro tight end for the last decade. It was just crazy. I mean, you're thinking about 7 of 10 possessions that the Chargers actually scored on. 7 of 10. Held on to the ball, 40 minutes and 17 seconds? The Eagles had the ball for 19 minutes and 43 seconds. Basically, the Chargers were the ones that held on to the ball this whole game. Now, guys that should be put on blast, because that's what we do here. We're going to break down this game. Nate Allen, are you serious? I mean, this guy was out of position, missing tackles. It's just upsetting. It's very upsetting that they could not find a starting safety that could take over his position, because it's just, they should be on the phone with Kerry Rhodes as we speak. I don't care about Kerry Rhodes' sexuality. I wouldn't care if we were the first, team with the first openly gay hard-hitting safety. That sounds very suspect. But I don't care. He'd do a better job than Nate Allen would. And he'd probably be more hungrier, and you'd probably pay him less. So get on the phone with Kerry Rhodes. I heard he was interviewing with the Giants, which kind of sucks. Because obviously they don't care about his sexuality. He's denying everything. I don't care. Give him a call. Alex Henry, make the field goal, please. We don't want you to be the next David Akers. We want you to get in there, make the field goal. And then David Akers would, on a kickoff, he would get in there and make tackles. I know, Alex, you're not built like a football player, maybe a backup dancer, but you got to get your chest up in there and make the recovery on that fumble. That ball went about 40 yards up the field on that drive. Kerry Williams, when you play like your nickname is Sconces, like you did today, you have to be put on blast because pass interference after pass interference after pass interference. The referees were definitely looking at your gameplay because you were holding on to receivers. You must let go. I don't care if you put a hold on somebody in the first 2 yards, you got to let go. You can't let your hand linger. Patrick Chung on I think it was a 3rd and 4. Holding on, not even letting go, but just holding on. I mean, those plays are serious when you're trying to stop a offense that is gutting your defense. They put up, over, it was like 539 yards on this defense. Are you serious? I mean, that's what we put up around that number around on the Redskins. For a team that has King Dunlap blocking as their left tackle, we needed to be in their face a whole lot more. Trent Cole came up pretty good. He had another stripped fumble on the day, which was pretty huge. Brandon Boykin played pretty phenomenal for his first start. There's pretty good coverage on the outside. And they still made catches, but he still had pretty good coverage. Had enough know-how to come back and strip an all-world Antonio Gates before he scored. So that's pretty awesome. Eagles radio all week. The Fanatic, I remember just hearing them just bash the Chargers offense, saying, "Oh, who do they have? They don't have anyone. No one to scare." Who's Eddie Royal? Eddie Royal had 7 catches, 90 yards, and 3 touchdowns. He has 5 touchdowns in the last 2 games. In the slot, he was putting in work. I mean, it could have been different if Brandon Boykin was in the slot and we had Fletcher on the outside. It could have been different. But, sometimes with these 3-man rushes that the Eagles had up on Rivers, these guys he had all day to throw. And the guy like Rivers, who doesn't have that much zip on his ball, he can get it to where it needs to go. It's just not going to be the prettiest. But if you give him time, he's got an opportunity. They did get in his face a couple times, but not enough. They only had 1 sack on the day. You can't have just 1 sack against Rivers. What else can we talk about? The drive where the Eagles were down. It was about 2 minutes, 12 seconds or something like that. It seemed like the Eagles were rushing the ball to get to the ball. It was almost like you had to slow down the hurry-up offense in a sense where let's work the clock. Let's not give them an opportunity if we make this field goal to come back and win the game on us. Work the clock. I would have rather had it, not rush the ball. I mean, that was a beautiful thing watching the Eagles offense move down. When the game was on the line, the Eagles were moving the ball. Vic was rushing the ball. McCoy was smart enough to, he caught a screen. Vic had to sneak, and then Deshaun Jackson had a catch. And they're all getting out of bounds, getting the first down. It's moving the chains, which was beautiful. But then I believe that on the second down, Vic got hit, and then came up. He was shooken up. I thought he was done for the game, and Foles came in. It was interesting to see that they on a second down that they went with Foles for a fade. The guy hadn't thrown a ball in 2 games, and this first play is I guess they didn't think that that maybe we'll outthink them and throw the fade route, but I thought they should have just ran the ball, give McCoy an opportunity, or maybe something simpler in the sense where you can just give McCoy a screen or something. I would have rather saw that than a shot for the fade. And then it was a 3rd down play. The Eagles attempted to throw to Avant. I thought they could have went somewhere else on that. I don't know if that was a good defense. I haven't watched the play over since it happened, but I thought he did have an opportunity to catch the play. I thought you got to come up big in those moments. On the offensive side of the ball, as we expected, they did move the ball. Not that much rhythm in the first half, and I think that's the biggest thing as we move forward against the Chiefs. We have to see this offense put up points early. If they do not put up points early, it puts their defense in worse shape. Because if you keep this defense on the field for that long, we are in trouble. The positive thing that I've seen is the defense is making plays and getting turnovers, which is pretty big. And the offense has to keep them off the field. And if they want to be aggressive, they have to be aggressive on the first couple of drives. We cannot have field goals moving forward. You just can't. I mean, it seems like when they get a touchdown, it gets them going, gets this whole offense fired up. Field goals does nothing for this Chip Kelly offense because getting that winded is not going to help you out. How do you guys feel out there? Who do you think needs to be exposed in the comments below? I'm not sure how you guys are feeling, but I know I'm just when you lose that close by a field goal, you look at everything else, and there was just too many plays that were left on the table. We could have easily won that game. And the Eagles are now 1-1, and we have Andy Reid and the Chiefs next week. And not to quote Andy Reid, but we have to do a better job against the Chiefs. Well, I'm Gayle Saunders from SkinnyPost.com. Living the dream, not as in Dream Team, but I am still living the dream.